Aquarius gets called too detached. It's a common critique. However, what if that detachment is part of their brilliance? The Aquarius energy is about seeing the bigger picture and thinking outside the box. They're the visionaries that push us to expand our limitation and bring new ideas to life. Their focus might not be on the personal level, but it's because they're creating something new that is revolutionary for everyone. Too much detachment, however, and it can lead to losing friends, love, and even lose touch with our own body. As great as the heights are that an Aquarius can go, we are still living an earthly life, and it's important to remember that. Hello and welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jada. In this series, we're diving into the different zodiac signs as a tool for self-discovery. As I mentioned in the introduction video, we are not just one zodiac sign, but we have all 12 zodiac signs inside of us. So it's not so much about discovering which sign am I, but rather how does each sign show up in my life. So if you haven't watched introduction videos yet, I suggest you do. It will give you a better understanding of this series. The first video is more about giving you an idea what this series is about and how we have all 12 zodiac signs inside of us. And the second introduction video is about explaining you what a zodiac sign is made of, the modality, the polarity, and the element, which is going to be especially helpful if you are new to astrology. Aquarius is an air fixed positive sign, which makes it a very progressive, forward-looking sign. So even though it's a fixed sign, unlike its counterpart with Leo, which displays loyalty, and Taurus, which displays stubbornness. The fixed element with Aquarius is usually found in having a fixed opinion, which is basically the combination of fixed energy and air, which is the intellect. So once Aquarius has developed an opinion, it usually stays with that, and it has a tendency of wanting to convince other people of its opinion, which is one of the biggest paradox of Aquarius, because Aquarius has this innovative nature which basically requires to look at things from different perspectives or having different ideas. However, at the same time, it can be very fixed in this is the only right way to look at things. The positive energy that it has is the reason that the creative idea that Aquarius has gets brought into the physical world, because it has this desire to express that innovative nature of his in the physical realm. And this can either be, if you think of it in terms of a politics who comes with controversial conversations or controversial opinion, but it can also come in terms of devices, inventing a new device that is revolutionary for humanity. This is also why Aquarius gets often associated with freedom. However, it's a different freedom from Sagittarius, where Sagittarius needs that freedom to roam and explore. Aquarius needs that freedom in terms of individuality. Unlike Capricorn, that is all about structure and tradition, Aquarius breaks all those rules, and it's that kind of freedom that it represents. Unlike Capricorn, the previous sign, Aquarius is all about being equal. Where Capricorn was all about hierarchy and who is above whom, Aquarius is like those boundaries, those structures don't really exist. If we think of it in terms of nation, Capricorn is about, okay, this country belongs to this person, we have like the borders and all that stuff. And Aquarius kind of dissolves all those boundaries, and it's like everything and everybody is equal. So there is this sense of fairness and justice and equalness that can also be found in the Libra energy. However, where Libra's fairness comes from the desire to create harmony, Aquarius fairness comes from creating equalness, showing that you and me are the same, which is also one of Aquarius' paradox, because at the same time it's about being individual and being different from the status quo. So it kind of represents this concept of everybody is special, but at the same time no one is. So they don't really care about celebrities because they don't think that they are above anyone else, but at the same time Aquarius are known to stand out in their own unique way, and this can come in a lot of forms. It can be by the relationship they seek, it can be by the way they dress, by the job they choose, but they usually defy the norm. As the third air sign, and therefore the collective air sign, it's the closest to real objectivity. On one side, Aquarius knows that real objectivity doesn't exist, but it gets really close to it. And because of that, it is very detached, even more so than the other signs. Because of that ability to see everyone and everything as equal, it's also the sign that considers what is applied to a human being needs also to be applied to an animal, because in Earth we are equal. We have certain rules for human on how they need to be treated. Those rules should be applied to all animals or to all living things. This is also why Aquarius is associated with the phrase I know. It is a very intellectual sign, a very objective sign, and a very detached sign. If we look at the symbolism of Aquarius, it's the water bearer. So it's a human pouring out water. The water that is being poured out represents the intellectual knowledge that Aquarius bestows upon humanity. Due to their progressive nature, depending on whom you ask, they are either perceived as very broad-minded and visionary, or as unrealistic and out of touch with reality. So Aquarius can be called crazy for their innovative nature, because some of the ideas that they come up with seem like from another world. Things like the invention of the airplane or that the earth is round, those were like concepts that were considered crazy at some point of time. It's that forward, progressive thinking energy that Aquarius represents. Just like Libra, Aquarius has the ability to get everyone's perspective. However, unlike Libra, it doesn't use that information to bring people together, but to state facts, to state the truth. And think of it in terms of science. So Aquarius is, I do get your perspective and your point of view, however the facts are, and it proceeds to show you what the reality is. Also, unlike Capricorn, Aquarius does not believe that blood is thicker than water. It believes in principles. So Capricorn is about ancestral stuff and things that have been passed down by generation, and Aquarius doesn't really care about it. It again dissolves those boundaries. Due to their truth, scientific and detached nature, they might find themselves in conflicts with relationship or having a hard time with relationships, as they might be struggling with empathy, even though they intellectually understand how another person feels or how they think. It's that they don't emphasize or don't value that as much, because they consider the truth, facts and principle more important than emotions. Paradoxically, they're also considered the friendliest sign of the zodiac, but it comes from seeing people as equal, and not because there's an emotional connection to that person. It doesn't necessarily see the individual person as rather, you're a human being, I'm a human being, we're connected. Because of that, an Aquarius does not easily get involved with someone. They're a little more detached but friendly. Since Aquarius is such a principle-driven sign, it means that they can become tactless, because as mentioned, as a fixed sign, it has that tendency of wanting to impose its opinion on someone else, and therefore it doesn't necessarily care how the other person might feel. But if an Aquarius does resonate with a person, they allow themselves to open up a little more, and they really stick with those people, again highlighted by the fixed energy, and tend to have very long-lasting friendships once they commit to one. And it's probably from the Aquarius energy where the phrase a chosen family comes from, where they're like, okay, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. All of this makes Aquarius the most tolerant, but also the most intolerant sign. Tolerant because it gets your perspective, but intolerant because it might reject you emotionally, especially if Aquarius perceives someone to be insincere. And since they don't really care what others think of them, coming from their individualistic nature, they have no issues of offending someone. Therefore, Aquarius is individualistic, rebellious, friendly, aloof, detached, and innovative. As usual, I don't want you to categorize those into good or bad. For any negative trait has its benefits, as any positive trait has its challenges. For example, a futuristic outlook allows us to innovate and progress as a species. Too much of it and we become detached from our human nature and too robotic. So I want you to think of all the characteristics you have heard throughout the video and see the positive and the negative in each characteristic, like the benefit and the challenges. And I want you to think of the parts that you have been demonizing about yourself, because society or someone in your life didn't approve of it, and consider whether the problem does not even lie with the actual trait, but maybe with the other person having an issue with that trait. Since Aquarius is a very detached sign, the question that we can ask ourselves is that trait that I'm displaying maybe a little too tactless? Am I getting a little too much out of touch with human nature? And do I need to incorporate a little more empathy? In terms of personal example, I very much believe in chosen family. Like, I love my family, but I also believe in choosing your family. And this comes in terms with the partner that you choose, but also some of my friends that I consider literally family, even though we are not blood related. Now I want you to reflect for yourself where the Aquarius energy shows up in your life and how it shows up. Where do you like to do things your own way and stand out from the crowd? But also, where do you see everything and everyone as equal? How do you perceive your family and friends? Are you the person that is very traditional and believes in family bonds, or do you consider your friends to be your family? Also, where does that unconventional, individualistic nature show up the most? Is it in work, the way you dress, in your relationship, the kind of relationships that you have, or the kind of hobbies that you might be pursuing? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know in the different ways it might show up for yourself. Also, make sure to check out the other zodiac sign videos to find new inspiration, learn new things, and maybe even discover something new about yourself. The playlist is going to be in the description box down below. Otherwise, this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.